from Petaluma High School. It's a vital VVAL matchup between two old SCL foes, Sonoma Valley and Petaluma.
And we're from Petaluma.
And a very good evening here from the Petaluma High School gym. I'm Griffin Epstein, joined by Aiden Cannon, cameraman Alex Fabian Davies. We have a vital VVAL game here tonight in the middle of the year for both teams.
Absolutely. Both teams are in the thick of it right now, Griffin. Both kind of middle of the road in terms of the rankings, and they're both looking to try to turn it around towards the second half of the season.
And this is a very busy schedule for Petaluma coming up. They've been off for over a week due to this game being rescheduled from last Wednesday.
Yes, unfortunately due to a power outage.
Yeah, it was a big storm, knocked out power here. So this has been rescheduled from last Wednesday now on this Tuesday night. But that means Petaluma has a lot of games in a short period of time.
Yeah, 6 games in the next 10 days. That's 6 more games in the next 10 days than I have.
And
that was bad.
That really emphasizes the importance of this one for the Trojans, who, after a good start in VVAL, have fallen on hard times.
Yeah, but I think this is a great way for the Trojans to establish a rhythm. There's no better way than, like, you're constantly exposed to. Whoa, ball there. You're constantly exposed to pressure and pressure-filled games. You're trying to turn your season around. I think this is the way for the Trojans to turn around.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Very young team. They've struggled to kind of piece it all together, and we're kind of waiting for that last puzzle piece to lock in there and really work for Petaluma. As you've mentioned, there's a lot of the core elements of Petaluma's game they haven't gotten there yet.
Yes, unfortunately, the last game I spectated and commentated was against Casa. That was a notorious beating, unfortunately.
Yes.
Not fun as a member of the Petaluma High community, but perhaps a valuable lesson going into the future, going into the second half of the season.
Yeah, that was the last home game here 2 weeks ago. The Gauchos went on a 21-0 run to start that game. It was over.
It was not fun.
Yeah, basically before it started, Petaluma lost against league favorite Napa on Monday, and now 3 in a row they've lost in VVAL after they started 2-0 with nice victories over Vintage and Justin Siena. Sonoma Valley is the last team in Vine Valley they haven't played yet, so it adds to the importance of this game, and they can still be at the 500 mark in VVAL halfway through the season. They'll just have another game tomorrow night against Justin Siena.
Absolutely, and I'm sure that'll build confidence in them, Griffin, because I'm sure that'll build confidence in them as they go into the rest of the season.
Yeah, and for Sonoma Valley, this team 2-3 in league, or 2-4 in league, I should say, as well. This team has a lot of experience, and so far they've surpassed expectations.
Yeah, this is their first winning season since 2004, if I remember correctly, and they're looking really solid. Let's see, they're currently 12-8, 2-4 in lead, same record as Petaluma.
Yeah, half a game back on Petaluma in VVAL.
And they've been led by Jack Boydell, 18.7 points per game and 5.3 rebounds per game.
And a lot of senior experience on this Dragon team. They've got 7 seniors, and that's helped them a lot. If they win tonight, they will have more wins since the 2005 if they get a win tonight. And obviously they still have plenty of playing time left here in VVAL. They've been much improved under head coach Mike Boyles. There's plenty of experience on this Sonoma team that Petaluma will have to contend with. And the Trojans have really dominated Sonoma as of late, though there was some conflict when these teams played here last year, Aiden.
Yes, absolutely. Last year when the Trojans played the Dragons, there was a fight, and it was started by Tyler Garrett. I know he was the one who started it because in my notes it says fight, and it's in parentheses and underlined. Did you put that there, Griffin?
I don't know. I might have.
Who knows? But anyways, hopefully the players can just play the game. You know, we don't need to have any fights or any physical altercations. That's just ugly. It takes away from the spirit of the game.
Absolutely.
And we're all just here to have fun at the end of the day.
Yeah, you hope it's a clean game. Petaluma, a little different than Sonoma because they are so young, they don't return.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact opposite problem.
Right, they don't return most of those players that were involved in that, but Sonoma does return most of the players that were involved in that altercation. And there was a second one when Petaluma went on the road to play Sonoma Valley.
Oh, I was not made aware of that.
These teams don't like each other, and we will see if that makes any impact in the intensity of the game at all.
hopefully it just motivates them to play better than the other team. We don't need any fights, hopefully.
Yeah, and both teams have been waiting for this game. Petaluma 8 days since they've been waiting for this game. It'll be interesting to see, Aiden, do they come out rusty after such a long time, or are they focused and ready because they've had such a long time to prepare for such an important game here tonight?
Well, I hope they would come out with fire, Griffin, but I am worried that the amount of experience that Sonoma Valley has, they would be able to take advantage of the Trojans' inexperience. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully it's a great competitive game and not like Casa.
Yeah, Petaluma, as you mentioned, has not looked experienced of late. They did not look poised at all in the Egg Bowl here. It was a terrific atmosphere in front of, man,
the only terrific thing about it was the atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, there must have been however many fans could possibly fit in this gym, and then some.
Lots.
It was almost overflowing on court, about 300 people, but Petaluma totally wilted in that moment. So it'll be interesting, all the pressure leading up to this one and the importance, if they'll be ready.
Well, a lot less people in the stadium today, which is, both a blessing and a curse. But I think, hopefully, if we want to look at the bright side, this means that the Trojans won't feel as much pressure on themselves to perform up to a level that they know that they can.
Yeah, that will definitely have to help them. Two teams in the middle of the standings. Petaluma looking to get into a tie with the Gauchos in 4th place. If they lose tonight, they will fall behind Sonoma Valley into second to last in VVAL, halfway through their league schedule. We're going to hear the starting lineups in just a minute. With this middle VVAL game vital for both squads, here is PA announcer Michael Barabalt.
Oh, Michael, turn Michael? You don't want to hear me sing the national anthem? Okay, that's fine. All right, I'm not
Welcome to Petaluma High School for tonight's Sonoma Valley Dragons contest as we visit Sonoma Valley Dragons and the host Petaluma Trojans. At this time, we will meet the starters first for visiting Dragons. Junior, number 2, Reed Hewitt. The senior, number 13, Jack Poindell. The freshman, number 20, Tom Gersh. A junior, number 24, Riley Penguin. And a senior, number 44, Trent Garrett. The Dragons are coached by Mike Bowles, assisted by Mike Merson, Dustin Mertens, and Trey Bowles. Now for Petaluma, a senior, number 1, Zach Clark. A sophomore, number 12, Ivan Cortez. A senior, number 15, Garrett Garrett. A sophomore, number 25, Eric Perez. And a junior, number 32, Sam Brown. Petaloma's coach on Scout is assisted by Nick Yamapi and Steve Mark.
My mic is on.
All right, the national anthem will be played. You are not going to be able to hear it because we've been copyright for the national anthem, so enjoy the silence. There was the national anthem you did not hear. Petaluma and Sonoma ready to do battle. Old SCL foes. These teams have
now
played.
VVAL.
Yeah, right. These teams have played a lot in league, and they will continue to battle. Sonoma's made the 20-minute trip east.
These are like obnoxiously comfortable chairs for like folding chairs. Like,
It is a lovely chair.
guys, if you're interested in like buying folding chairs, contact Petaluma High and find out what company they use, because these are great.
We are going to see technical free throws to start the game. I don't know why, but
Oh my!
PA announcer Michael Barabald informing the crowd that technical free throws to start the game. I don't know if this is because of last year. I don't know if something was said pre-game or there was a violation of some sort.
I hope.
But
Nothing
for whatever
serious.
reason, Dom Girish sinks one of two, and Sonoma will
The
take.
good news is we have a great sports journalist with
Yeah,
us.
Sonoma will take
his
one
name
of.
is Griffin Epstein.
Okay,
Griffin
Aiden.
will find out the disturbance.
No, we'll
and
go.
what happened.
We'll have some investigative journalism. So
Yes.
Sonoma will start 1-0, and they'll get the ball. No opening tip to start a game. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before, Aiden.
Well, Griffin,
See something new every day, don't you?
I can't tell you you're wrong.
And the Dragons with the kick start. And we talked about Boydell. He's a talented player.
Boydell
Aiden.
is a talented player. As we mentioned earlier, lots of points per game, 18.7. That's really great for high school.
Yeah, by far leading the Dragons in points. The 6'3" senior guard.
Not a one-trick pony, though. 5.3 rebounds per game as well.
True. Girish takes it away. Unable to finish. Petaluma already with a couple sloppy plays here early. Nice drive by Girish. And the 5'7" freshman guard is going to head to the line for two. This freshman's got some otherworldly
Wow.
talent as well, doesn't he?
8.2 points per game, not bad.
And he's such a good free throw shooter. They put a freshman out in a weird situation with technical free throws to shoot before the game even started. They trust a freshman to do that.
I mean, hey, if you're good, you're good. It shouldn't matter what age you are.
Absolutely. Girish hits both, and it's quickly 5-0 Dragons here in Petaluma and Sonoma Valley.
I'm really hoping that this. Oh my! All right.
Trojans
I'm
nearly
really
turn
hoping
it
that this
over
doesn't
again.
turn into a Casa situation.
Yeah, Petaluma has had very slow
All
starts to
right,
games
there
of
we go.
late. Perez is going to drive and score, and the Trojans will not start the game trailing 21-0 before they score their first bucket. That's the good news.
Keeping it a little more competitive. Freshman again.
Excellent ball movement, and Girish is on fire to start. This Trojan defense already showing its lapses, Aiden.
Yeah, it's something they could really sharpen up.
Perez, he answers.
Nice.
The 6',
Go, Perez.
160-pound sophomore guard. He's some young talent for Petaluma. There's no doubt as Perez takes it away.
Perez
And
with the layup.
finishes. It's the Eric Perez show. He's got all 7 Petaluma points to start.
Already a much more interesting game, Griffin, than the one against Casa.
Absolutely. How about Perez here? He's the one bringing all the energy.
He's doing a fantastic job. Great, great speed, great athleticism, great shots.
And Bodell hits the 3. This Petaluma defense couldn't have had a much worse start, Aiden, to this game. They've already allowed 11 points, and we're only 2 minutes gone in the first quarter.
Could have been worse. Could have been 21.
Yeah, but 11 points in 2 minutes. What does this Petaluma defense need to do to lock down the Dragons?
I think they just need to focus up. I think it's early in the game. I don't think that we can. It's not time to freak out. It's not time to be like, the Petaluma Trojans can't play defense. You know, that it's not time for that yet. You know, I think they're just, they're, like as you said, they're rusty. They haven't played a game in 7 days, unfortunately, due to the power outage. Sorry, 8 days.
Yeah.
Due to the power outage, and they're just trying to get into a rhythm. At least keeping it close offensively, something that we couldn't say about the Casa game.
Perez, it's been all of that early. They go right back into the sophomore star, and he's fouled and headed to the line for 2. There's no doubt there's talent on this teammate, and I think it does center around these young underclassmen and their skills.
Absolutely, and I think I'm wondering if a lack of Robbie Izetta will impact the team a lot tonight. Or perhaps a win without him will make the team feel even better, more confident in their skills.
Yeah, good point. Izetta not in this gym tonight.
Very confusing.
Presume illness. We'll try to, again.
The good news is we have a great...
Okay, yeah, we get the point. We'll try to figure out at halftime
Griffin Epstein, who will figure it out
why Izetta is not in the gym tonight. Petaluma's floor general, starting point guard, and best three-point shooter. And they will dearly miss him tonight. Especially
good
against
defense,
these
Griffin.
experienced Dragons. Petaluma gets its first stop of the game.
Let's see if they can capitalize. Good ball movement.
The senior Gehring. What a move.
Oh.
Gehring has not got a lot of key minutes, but with Izetta down, Trojans need to look elsewhere. Girish was all alone. My goodness.
Yeah, focus up on the defense, Trojans.
Well, Petaluma trying to press there, and Girish was alone on an island with no one home. Couldn't have been an easier pitch and catch for the Dragons. Petaluma defense not even making Sonoma work. Boydell with the floater. He's already got 7. Girish has 8.
You warned us about Jack Boydell, but I'm more worried about Dom Girish.
He checked for Perez. He's off the mark. Boydell.
Miss.
That one doesn't fall.
Nice rebound.
And so the Trojans are, in fact, not just down one player. They are down 2 tonight. Their leading scorer, Esteban Bermudez, is also not in the gym tonight. So the Trojans
kind of crippled.
Are down 2 other starters. So that is the reason.
And yet, they're keeping it competitive, Griffin.
And that is the reason, though, you see Gehring and also Lucas Stevenson, who has just entered. Another senior who doesn't get a lot of playing time out there. Petaluma's going to have to find some other ways to score. Brown playing volleyball, pulled down by Phylan, who can't finish.
Rebound. Trojans already doing a much better job of getting the ball.
Yeah, Petaluma needs to rebound. That's been something they've had an issue with, pulling down defensive boards.
And Brown
will get his first points. 6'2", 210
It's like
pound
it's a
junior.
different team, Griffin. It's like a completely different team from the team I saw when they were playing Casa.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Petaluma could have started much worse or played much worse
No.
against the Gauchos, and I know you haven't seen as much of this team as others. I could promise you they aren't as bad as they looked throughout that game. That was a team with no energy, overwhelmed by the moment, and for a team with 4 sophomores and only really 2 returners that had any playing time on last year's team, I don't think they were ready for that big of a moment. Obviously, the situation not as vital here tonight.
That's true. I just find it interesting that they're doing so well without, as you said, 2 of their key players, and they had the 2 key players when they had Bermudez and Izetta when they were playing Casa.
Yeah, and Petaluma might also feel a little bit energized to play for their wounded Warriors. 2 of their most important players, and the senior leader Izetta, the sophomore leading scorer in Bermudez. Both out. Perez has picked up the slack so far. Bermudez tandem.
And
air ball.
ball.
Trent Garrett, the senior center, a little too far from his range.
That we guess is of some relation to Tyler Garrett?
He is the twin, in fact, of Tyler Garrett.
Tyler Garrett of last year's Fights fame.
Yeah, he threw Trey Davis to the ground to start the tussle between these 2.
Oh, nice rebound by George.
Tynes has just entered for
Sorry,
Petaluma.
I should have said Tynes.
You're all right, Aiden.
I actually didn't know his last name until recently, so.
Perez is fouled, and he'll head to the line for 2 shots.
All right.
Only the second team foul
Perez,
on the
put in
Dragons.
Work.
Well, the Trojans are going to need to pick up the slack with their 2 of their best scorers out there. Perez, I think, has been a little bit disappointing so far this year, considering his talent. Bermudez, who's really been the star, but Perez tonight.
Seems like he's up to the challenge, Griffin.
Perez so far has looked like, I think, the sophomore star everyone thought he was coming into the year.
I appreciate that. Someone buckling down, seeing that the team needs a player to play a certain role, and executing.
Perez's season high was 9 points in a victory over Vintage, and
he's already surpassed that.
He has tied that now with 9.
I'm sorry.
Bodell from downtown. He cannot miss.
Fantastic arc.
Someone stop number 13.
Someone call the fire department because he's on fire. See the joke there? Yeah, you see it. All right.
You see, if you point out that it's a joke, it ruins the whole joke.
Yeah, all right, you know.
What a feed to Alexander. Tynes with the assist, and Alexander his first points. The Trojans keep this at a 2-point game. Feels like Sonoma's dominated this game, and yet Petaluma's only down by 2.
And it's funny, I actually feel the opposite way, Driven. I feel like they've both been playing equally well.
Okay.
Sonoma's ball movement, probably a little better, but the Trojans have been rebounding. And I feel like that's something that Sonoma has not done a lot of.
Yep,
In comparison.
Trojans have had a couple extra chances already tonight. Alexander's trying to use his physicality, but not that time. 1:28 remaining here in the first quarter, live from the Petaluma High School gym. We thank you for joining us.
Yes. Oh, 7 people.
On this Tuesday night. This rescheduled game from last Wednesday. There was a power outage here at the PHS gym with a torrential storm bearing down on the west coast.
Tynes recovers the ball.
Electricity went out actually in the middle of the freshman game. And
No way.
yeah, they weren't able to get restarted. They called it a night after about 30 minutes.
That's not very unfortunate.
Yeah, it was a big storm though. Alexander shuffled his feet, and we'll go the other way.
And as always, we encourage anybody in the chat, if you have anything to say, any questions, any comments, any concerns, we encourage you to talk to us. You can use the live chat, and we do our best to try to talk back, respond. Obviously, the game's very exciting right now, but if it cools down, we'll get back to you.
Yeah, I would say my partner is a very inquisitive man, so if you have any thought-provoking questions.
Oh, yes.
Dragons have been electric offensively in this first quarter. Girish and Bodell have led that effort.
Tynes stonewalling.
Garrett. That's Tyler Garrett. I saw Trent Garrett airball the 3, but Tyler looks a little better shooting-wise. He averages 5 points per game for the Dragons. He extends the lead to 4. Sonoma's led by as much as 6. They had a hot start. The Trojans clawed their way back with Eric Perez. Shot clock turned off. Down to 3. Petaluma needs to go. Tynes off the iron.
Close up.
So we've reached the end of 1. It's the Sonoma Valley Dragons 19, the Petaluma Trojans 15.
I'm happy. I think this is completely doable.
Yeah, I think this was an interesting first half, I think, and Sonoma got that weird technical to start the game. We'll, again, try to figure out at halftime why.
Yes.
But that seemed like that helped them. They started the game on a 5-0 run, but how about Eric Perez? He was really the difference in keeping Petaluma hanging around, and it seemed like after a timeout by Coach Bears, Petaluma kind of caught up with the energy in the rest of the team.
Oh, I thought they've been fantastic. I think, especially considering my prior experience with the team and their performance against Tata, I think this has been electric. It's a night and day difference, truly. And I think that Perez has done an excellent job taking smart shots, finding openings, and moving the ball around also. So.
Yeah, this team just needed, I think, to settle down a little bit. They started both their last 2 games really slowly. They fell behind by 15 points to Napa when they last played all the way 8 days ago. And they clawed that lead all the way back down to 3 points. But they just fell behind so big they weren't able to come back. And credit to Perez, I think he really helped keep the Trojans around. They started to pick up their production, especially on the offensive end. After settling into this game, feeling out the nerves and maybe a little bit of rust as well. Perez has 9 to lead Petaluma early here. Boydell leads Sonoma with 10. Dragons 2 and 4 in league. Petaluma 2 and 3. The halfway point for both squads in the VVAL. A vital game for both. Petaluma has 6 games in the next 10 days as Sullivan hits from downtown.
Great shot by Ryan.
6'3", small forward, a terrific shooter. Doesn't get too much playing time, but if you can find him, especially out in the corner 3, he can hit that. Lead is cut to 1. Dragons have led the whole way, but Petaluma has tightened the deficit. Trojans will need to find a way to slow Bodell. Shot clock down to 5. Bodell free to fire.
Oh, and
Trojans, I don't think they've allowed any offensive rebounds so far tonight. That's been a huge plus.
not to say anything about defensive rebounds. Great ball movement by Sonoma.
Spanger off the mark. Nicholas
And another
Spanger,
great rebound.
one of the 7 seniors on this very experienced Dragon squad. Dragons having their best year since 2004-2005 season. Head coach Mike Bowles has done a great job with this program.
Sullivan with another shot.
He's on fire!
And the Trojans have their first lead of the game. A 2-point lead.
Back-to-back threes for Sullivan. And after Perez provided some energy in the first, Sullivan has picked up the offensive slack. Foul called on Alexander. If you're just joining us,
on Ryan
foul's going to be called on Sullivan, which is big. Petaluma doesn't want to get Alexander into foul trouble. But if you're just joining us, Trojans are without their starting point guard, Robbie Izetta, and their leading scorer, sophomore Esteban Bermudez.
And yet the offense has been there, Griffin.
Yeah, no doubt. And the Trojans have brought the energy as well. Bermudez probably their energy leader, kind of the heart and soul of the Trojan team as well. Hasn't been an issue for Petaluma. Sullivan and Perez picked up the slack so far, and we've got a tight game just as we expected. All knotted at 21, 2 minutes gone in the second quarter.
Let's see if the Trojans can build a lead.
Brown. Tight defense by the Dragons. The kick to Brown, a little bit too strong, and the Dragons can get on the break. What a drive by Bodell to the rack. Oh, if he gets going, it's going to be very hard for Petaluma to win tonight, Aiden.
I certainly hope he doesn't, because Girish has also been looking fantastic. So if they get 2 going, it's going to be ugly.
Into Alexander. He
was
fouled. Good for Petaluma that he's still in the game. And trouble has been for Alexander throughout this year. Foul trouble over and over again. He's had 2 quick fouls he's picked up often early in the first quarter.
I'm sorry, who was that picked up the fouls?
Alexander has often picked up fouls, and it's required him to be sitting on the bench a lot. He's one of Petaluma's better offensive players, but also important, especially rebounding-wise.
Sullivan with a miss.
Cortez able to scoop up the rebound and lay it in. And the Trojans, who are a little bit taller than Sonoma Valley, have used their height to their advantage.
Bodell is in, but Girish is out.
And Girish had a very quick start to this one. The freshman has 8 already. Bodell, I doubt, will take a seat all game. He's the LeBron James of Sonoma Valley. He's one of the best players in the Vine Valley Athletic League.
That's what the A stands for. That's so redundant. Should just be the VVAL.
Well, what if it was a winery competition, Aiden?
What? That's, I mean, okay.
Athletic move, unable to finish.
Oh.
But Spanger somehow got his own rebound.
I'm not even going to try to recap any of that. There was a scuffle for the ball. And, whew, that was tough.
At the end of
I
that,
had a message, but his message has been retracted.
yeah, choose your words wisely,
Wisely,
Mr.
Cole. Come on.
Foul was called on Sonoma there. That's their 5th team foul. Petaluma is 2 away from a 1-on-1 bonus and a chance to earn more points on the line. Trojan team averages 51 points per game. They're well surpassed that so far because of Aaron Perez. 11 points for the sophomore, the younger brother of Ryan Perez, one of the legends to come through this Petaluma basketball program. The Jeans are strong.
Oh, and a great interception by Alexander.
And as Alexander makes a nice defensive play, Perez is having his breakout game. Can he lead Petaluma to a victory?
Correct? And does Perez usually sub in Griffin? Or is he a starter?
Tynes?
No, Perez.
Perez is a starter
Okay.
of late for Petaluma. Didn't start early in this year, but he's definitely developed over the course of the year. And I think the 8 days off have helped him. He's worked in the gym, and we have really seen the improvement.
I was going to say, 'cause if he was coming off the bench, whew, he's making quite the argument not to sit on the bench.
Yeah, and Coach Bears has kind of struggled. I don't know if that's too negative a word, but he's definitely mixed and matched his starting lineup throughout the year. It's such a young team. And we mentioned it in the open, only 2 returners in Alexander and Isaiah, who's not playing that had any significant playing time last year.
Go for it, Cole.
7
Do it.
seniors, but most of them without experience. And I think Coach Bears has really been looking for the right formation, right puzzle pieces.
That's the correct way to think about it, Griffin. Every team should be a puzzle. You've got different people filling different roles.
Yeah, and I think sometimes depending on the matchups, he mixes it up too.
And I think that is the way sports should be played, Griffin. I think it
Absolutely.
should be all strategy. But some people do not agree with me, and I completely understand that.
Yeah, but it's been hard to say that. Head coach Scott Bears has found something that's worked perfectly. They did have back-to-back victories to open VVAL against Vintage and Justin Siena. It was very impressive, but Petaluma since then has dropped 3 straight games. None of them have been too close. Girish has re-entered, but he's
Great
off the
rebound.
mark.
Perez with the ball.
Trojans have only allowed 1 offensive rebound all game. Sullivan has 2 threes. Brown, yes sir! 5 points for Brown, more known for his baseball skills. It's going to stay Sonoma ball.
Girish and Boydell back in.
Brown, the starting first baseman for the Petaluma varsity baseball team. He's so well known for his baseball skills, but it's been surprising. I think it's really translated well to the basketball court.
I think there's a certain amount of athleticism, Griffin, that always translates to every sport.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're fit, if you're in shape, it's going to translate.
Timeout, called by Coach Scott Bears.
More skill-dependent sports, I don't feel like that's as true. You can't go from like football to tennis. There's such different sports. However, there's a bit that comes over, and that's just your raw athleticism.
I was watching, I can't remember who, I was watching a biography on a football player, and he's actually pretty good at tennis, I heard.
Good. Well, good for him. I mean,
But
not saying it's impossible. You can play.
I think it is
tennis.
interesting because we normally see the correlation between football and baseball with people such as Kyler Murray, who was drafted by the Oakland A's, but now is probably Bo Jackson as well is another good example. And I think we also see a correlation between basketball and football.
Yes,
and a lot of LeBron James people have said would be a great tight end. I think Rob Gronkowski people have said would be a good basketball player. But
I don't know. I think
not as it's much more unusual to see baseball and basketball, but Brown just plays with great energy. He's made it work. An impressive rejection from Sullivan.
Great stop.
We've talked about it. Petaluma needed players to step up and play above and beyond their expected production to get a victory because you have 2 of your best players out.
Yeah.
And they've done that so
I think
far.
Sullivan and Perez are leading the charge.
Girish has gone cold, as has the Sonoma team. Hard fought.
They're fouled.
Fight is going to be a Petaluma foul, their 5th team foul.
Can't do badminton unless you in peak physical shape. For instance, tennis players can't. Wow. You can switch back to us real quick, Griffin.
I think we're going to have to retract that call yet message as well.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to retract that call yet message because Cole, you're
Just trying to poke our nerves a little.
bad, and you're a bad person. There. That's as PC and PG as I can get on this live stream.
Cole, one of the
Cole's definitely a
best plays. One of the best players though on the badminton team. Starting up season next.
Good for him.
Week.
I'd love to challenge him.
Sonoma misses both free throws. Man, they started off so hot, Aiden. They have cooled down like the Arctic Ocean.
I think they've been rocked. They've been rocked. I don't think they were expecting this much resistance.
Yeah, they had 10 points in the first 2 minutes.
Alexander on the inside.
Since then, they have 13. Alexander using his physicality, and Petaluma's on a 7-0 run. That was Phylin. Travel. Spanger shuffled his feet. Oh. What has this Trojan defense done to take Sonoma totally out of the rhythm? They've really changed it.
Well, they're putting in Julian Duran, who provides key defense with height. That's what my notes say.
Aiden, you're supposed to say what you know, not say that they're from your notes, because then it makes you look smarter.
Oh.
Broadcast tip from your
Julian Duran.
It's Garahan.
Garahan provides key
Taken
defense
away
with
by
height
Phylin.
Well, that's not what you want to see.
No, and I mean the way this Petaluma defense is played, and easy buckets are the last thing you want.
Oh, don't crumble now, Petaluma.
Well, Cortez went flying into the air, but the foul's on Sonoma Valley. Mike Bowles is not happy about it. Foul on Spanger, 15 foul on the Dragons.
Spanger, who ran into Cortez.
Cortez, another sophomore. Garahan is also a sophomore. 4 sophomores on this Petaluma team. They all get playing time. Because of this lack of depth for Petaluma with 2 starters out, as Alexander hits from downtown.
Petaluma now to 8.
Petaluma has only 1 player that has not played yet. We're still in the first half. 7 points for the Trojan center. That's the second team foul on Alexander. That's something to watch. But Petaluma's lead is 8. A slow start for the Trojans. They have certainly turned things around and played with great energy and great offense. Looks like those 8 days to prepare for this one have paid off.
Yeah, we were worried coming in that the Trojans were going to be too relaxed, that they weren't going to be prepared for a game, and the opposite could not be more true. The lead now at 10, double digits.
As Clark gets his first points.
I was just going to type back wrong.
A 4-second differential between shot clock and game clock. The Trojans have extended the lead all the way to 10. They have played terrific in this second quarter, especially on the defensive end.
Ball now with Clark.
Trojans find a run down the clock.
Looks like a
Clark throws it
miscommunication
away.
there.
Trojans senior co-captain, I like to call him a ball manager, a great leader, leads by example for Petaluma. Shot clock will be turned off for the Dragons. They badly need some points. They've been ice cold throughout. When really Bodell went quiet, there weren't too many other answers for Sonoma.
Yeah, Garish cooled down as well.
And there's not that much other scoring besides those 2 on Sonoma. Clock down to 3. Garrett off the mark. And what a play by Spanger.
Excellent putback.
He might want to join the Sonoma Valley volleyball team.
Oh, do they have a male Sonoma Valley? Do they have a male?
No,
volleyball
they
team?
don't, but
we need male
might need
volleyball.
to start one.
I don't know why we don't have it.
Whatever the case, a big momentum play for Spanger, but nonetheless,
Is it Spanger?
it's Petaluma 35, Sonoma Valley 27, and what a second quarter for the Trojans.
Nice to see the offense really come alive, Griffin.
Yeah, that's how have Petaluma been able to do it. They started so slowly, but after falling behind in a 7-0 hole, they have really been in control.
Yes. And I think that has to it most likely, Griffin, in my opinion, probably has to do with the time that they took to prepare, 8 days. I'm worried, honestly, that the momentum will not continue into other games because they're in such close proximity to each other. I'm worried that they're not going to have enough time to rest. But for now, they're playing great. Hopefully they can prove me wrong.
Yeah, it's a back-to-back, actually. They play Justin Siena on the road tomorrow. Now, the Braves are in last place in the bottom of VVAL, but that will be a tough one. And they have beaten the Braves already so far this year.
So hopefully just a punching bag then.
I wouldn't call it that. They only beat the Braves by 6. But looking back at this game here, Aiden, Petaluma leading by 8. They totally picked up the slack without Bermudez and Izetta, 2 of their best players, arguably their 2 best players on this team, not playing. What does Petaluma need to do to get a win against the Sonoma team that we know can catch fire in a hurry?
Keep rebounding. Don't give them more chances. If they've exhausted a chance, if they have shot the ball and can't and it did not go in, then you have to rebound offensively, and that's what they've been doing. And I think that you can attribute most of their success to that.
Yeah, and I think we talk a lot about the little things, and those are turnovers, free throws, and rebounds. As you said, Petaluma's done a great job on the boards defensively, not allowing second chances for Sonoma almost at all, and that's helped the Dragons cool down because once they started missing shots, there weren't extra opportunities. Same with turnovers. Petaluma, for the most part, has not turned the ball over, has not given the Dragons extra opportunities, no free lanes at all.
No.
And Sonoma's really had to try to do it their own offensively, and they were only able to score because Bodell and Girish got hot.
Yeah. And now they've completely cooled down. So hopefully that Trojans can continue to stifle their offensive fire.
Yeah, this is a Trojan defense that can play. It's been at points the highlight of their year. They've shut down some good teams. Scoring has been more of the issue.
Yes.
But tonight, Petaluma has not had trouble scoring.
No, not at all. Just keep up the energy. Keep up the fire.
Yeah, Perez has been big for Petaluma. 11 points for the sophomore. And I think he's really, him and Bermudez are kind of a package. They played together last year on JV as the leading scorers. And I wonder if Bermudez not being out there, and Bermudez has really been the star that's gotten all the attention, that's kind of helped lift a weight off Perez, and he's felt a little bit more free because he's looked like a free bird out there.
Absolutely. He's a free bird of a basketball player. He's, you know, I think it's just been, he's noticed that Bermudez is not here. It's time for him to pick up the slack. It's time. Bermudez and Izetta are not here. So he's picking up the slack. And I think he's doing a great job.
And Sullivan's been another key player for Petaluma.
Back-to-back three-pointers.
Yeah, that provided some key energy to start the second quarter, a quarter which Petaluma dominated. They came in trailing by a couple points. Tight game, Trojans went on a 7-0 run, and now they lead by 8 points. They're really in command of this game. And we mentioned it in the open, but if you're just joining us, this game has so much importance for both sides, but especially for Petaluma with their busy schedule.
Absolutely. And a win here can help them going into the rest of the season. They'll be 500 in league, and it'll give them confidence going into the rest of the season.
This is the halfway point of VVAL, but it's such a busy schedule coming up. In the next 10 days, counting this one, they have 6 games, I should say. The back-to-back against Justin Siena tomorrow night. They'll be at Vintage on Friday night. And they beat both of those two teams the first time around here in the VVAL. Petaluma can win this game tonight. They could possibly get 3 victories in a row.
And that'd be awesome for confidence and momentum. And really, I think those are the two of the biggest X factors in sports: confidence and momentum.
Yeah.
If you're confident, then you'll win. When you win, you gain momentum. It's kind of a flow chart. One thing leads to another. And so, if you're confident, that's the number one thing. And they're playing confident right now.
Yeah, and Petaluma has had a great start to VVAL, went down the drain when they played better teams such as American Canyon, Napa, and Casa. Those are the 3 top teams in the league. But if Petaluma can go in with confidence, 3 straight victories going in, even though all those games with the exception of the Napa game are on the road, feels like they might be better prepared.
Absolutely. And we appreciate the spirit from our from our live chat. Leia saying, "Go Trojans." I agree. Go Trojans.
Her brother happens to be on camera tonight.
Yes, your brother is on camera, Alex Fabian Davies, doing an excellent job. Currently eating a sandwich.
Yeah, and now, Aiden, we do have a special guest in the building that I noticed. I mentioned Eric Perez's older brother, Ryan, is one of the best Petaluma players to ever come through this PHS Jam in a basketball uniform. Joey Potts is another one of them, and I see Joey right over there, and if you are bold enough, would you be able to go over and see if Joey might come on the set real quickly?
You know what? Actually, I was just thinking about that. I was thinking about going to grab food, and you can go ask him for an interview.
Well, the issue is I'm sitting here, so you can ask Joey.
No, here's what we'll do. I will go and get food.
No. You ask him, then you can go get food, and he'll come and sit down because I need to hold down the fort here.
Okay, what do I refer to him as, Joey or Mr. Potts?
Joey, I think he's only like 20.
Okay. Oh, Cole has an interview, has a request to interview.
He wants to interview
Michael Barabald.
We'll interview Barabald after the game. Can you go? So Aiden's going to go see if Joey Potts will come on over.
All right. Should I keep my mic hot?
Yeah, I think you should turn it off.
All right.
Potts is one of the best players to come through this Petaluma program. Graduated 2 years ago as a center, and he had 2 years under head coach Scott Bears, a 3-year varsity player, used his height, exceptional, but played with great spirit as a captain. He's a lot of fun to watch. He's one of the better players and was on that team that won an SEL tournament title as well 3 years ago. Potts is going to come on and make his way over. Do you want to give him the mic? Sure. Hey, Joey. We're getting Joey Potts' mic. If you have any questions for Joey, ask them right now before you go. All right. Is it on? Now it's on. All right. Hey, Joey. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
So we mentioned one of the better basketball players to come through this program in a long time. What brings you out to this game tonight?
I didn't have a game. I mean, my schedule and their schedule is pretty much identical. So this rescheduled one kind of let me come out.
So you're still playing. Who are you playing for and where?
College of Marin.
And how has that been experience going from the high school level and now you're second year now in community college?
It's good. Yeah.
What's your greatest memory coming through this Petaluma High program? You led them to such great heights.
Just the coaching staff. Like Scott, I love Scott. I've always loved Scott. He was a huge part of how I developed and became who I was in high school.
Do you still use a lot of Coach Bear's teaching when you're in the community college game, which is obviously even more competitive?
Yeah, definitely.
And seeing this Petaluma team tonight, they're very young. What have you taken away from the Trojans leading by 8 over Sonoma?
It's good. They're playing really well. I mean, giving up a couple unneeded offensive rebounds, but that happens.
You certainly know how to pull down a lot of rebounds with all your height. Thank you so much for joining us, Joey. Yeah. Appreciate it. Joey Potts graduated 2 years ago, now in his second year playing basketball at the College of Marin. One of 2 players along with Ryan Perez, who's up at Santa Rosa Junior College playing basketball for the Bearcats from that Santa Rosa, from that Petaluma team that won an SEL tournament title for the first time in school history 4 years ago. Great to see the alumni back. We saw a variety come through at winter break. We talked to... Yeah, we saw Whitaker Ellis, Danny Marzo, Annika came over winter break. Yeah, it was great to see them. So Coach Bears has really built a great program, I think, and the alumni want to come back. They want to continue to encourage this team. And Potts talked about his greatest memory is really the relationship he built with the head coach of the Trojans. Start of the second half here. 35-27. And Brown quickly with the block on Bodell. It's off. If you're gonna eat, don't try tossing. Can this Trojan team close out Sonoma and get a huge victory? Cortez swings it to Perez. Perez, what a first half he had, 11 points for the sophomore to lead the Trojans. Brown, a little too strong. Very quiet atmosphere here tonight, just because it is a makeup game, wasn't on the schedule. Trojan students have come out en masse for boys basketball, even with the struggles this year. It's going to stay Petaluma ball, but that is not the case here tonight. Makeup game and Tuesday night after a 3-day weekend. There's virtually no student sections, about as many students in the arena, or gym I should say, as you'd see at a girls' basketball game. It's unfortunate that there is a disparity, but maybe 10 students at most, and a pretty empty gym for the most part, though there's a fair share of Dragons fans that have made their way. Foul on Reed Hewitt, the junior guard. Dragon team with 7 seniors and 13 of 14 players returning from last year. They only lost 2 seniors from last year's squad. Use their experience to find a lot of success this year. This Petaluma team has been too much early. Offensive foul, moving screen. Dragons were 12 and 15 last year, 6 and 6 in SCL. They were 14th in NCS Division III, fell to Drake in the first round. Had a lot of success, especially preseason, with a lot of victories. Even won a couple they won a tournament in Dixon. But they've struggled a little bit more of lately when the competition has increased. They won back-to-back over Justin Cien and Vintage, a 1-point victory over the Crushers. Since then, they've dropped their last 2 to American Canyon, and they fell to Napa on Saturday night, blown out by the undefeated VVAL Grizzlies, 60-42. Struggling to score in that game, and it's been struggling to score for Sonoma. They were on fire the first 4 minutes, and since then, they've been ice cold. Out of control was Girish. He has 10. Second on the Dragons in scoring overall. The freshman has been a great addition to the team. Dragons average 54.6 points per game. They can score, but they can also get cold. Girish is ice cold. Gehring. As sweet as it can sound, it's all Twine, and Gehring from downtown extends the Petaluma lead to 11. 5 points for the senior. He's had a nice night tonight. Everyone has stepped up, and this Dragon team could not throw a ball if they were standing in front of the ocean. Not a lot of turnovers tonight. There's one by Perez. Garrett's able to run it down.
I'm back. Boogie, woogie, woogie.
There's more volleyballs. Cortez had to spike it. Loose ball foul.
Garish having a hard time getting up.
Yeah, and Girish, the freshman, might have rolled an ankle. High-flying, trapeze-like, act awfully dangerous when you come down. 38-27, 5:34 remaining here in the third quarter.
Cole Yanch, everyone is writing scholarship essays due tomorrow. Sorry for not being there.
Well, we did.
Maybe you should have written them,
you know what, that might,
in November when they were assigned.
I think that is the rationale, though. That is a very fair rationale to a very small students.
I wrote them over the weekend,
Bodell kicks
but I
it
did
away.
not wait until the last night.
Yeah, Petaluma Educational Foundation does a great job giving. They've given over $13 million to students since their inception. That's a lot of cash, Aiden.
That is a lot of cash. That's more cash than I've ever seen, Griffin.
Yeah, that is so courteous and charitable. One of the great organizations at Petaluma to help support Petaluma students as they go to college. And they're due tomorrow night at 11 p.m. as all seniors know. Brown hits another jumper, and it's the biggest lead of the game for Petaluma at 13. Sonoma has still not scored in the second half.
At some point, you got to worry if it's going to turn into a blowout, Griffin.
Well, for the Dragons, you worry. For Petaluma, that certainly would be their wish. They don't want any drama.
And
especially
another
with a young
great
team.
offensive rebound.
Hewitt can't finish, and the frustration just continues to mount for Sonoma Valley. Gehring was stripped, but Cortez got it back. The wily sophomore will head to the line for two. He had a nice game, and the Trojans lost to Casa Grande, blown out 56-34 in their last home game. That night,
Yeah.
they had 34 points against the Gauchos. They have already surpassed that with 40 tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was referring to Perez.
Aiden was totally right. Night and day between Petaluma against the Gauchos, and maybe a different team in Sonoma, as experienced the Dragons are, and as successful as they've been this year. If they can get a victory tonight, they'd have more wins, and they'd have the most wins in Mike Bull's tenure here in his third season. Dragons have won 12 games each of their last 2 years. Obviously an upgrade in competition in the VVAL from the SCL.
Quite the upgrade, even for us.
Oh, absolutely. The Trojans have struggled with the high-level competition. No nights off in the Vine Valley. Plenty of parity to go about, though. There's certainly been some upsets, except for Napa staying high and mighty at the top. There's been a lot of upsets. Standings have been pretty wacky, to say the least.
Petaluma tries to do the Three Stooges impression on court, but does not work out.
One way to call it.
It was a prank. It was a joke. You know?
41-27 the score, halfway through the third. Coach Bears takes the timeout. Why has this Petaluma defense been so successful, and why is Sonoma Valley struggling to score so much? Because this is remarkable right now.
I'm going to repeat what I've said all game, Griffin. I think it's
all right.
rebounds. I totally think it is, because the Trojans keep creating more chances for themselves, and they keep taking chances from Sonoma.
Yes.
And I think it's simple calculus after that.
Aiden's in calculus. Sonoma.
Simple calculus is in simple math.
Sonoma shoots 42% from the field, and they look so hot to start, but all you needed was to get them out of the rhythm and get the hands out of their stars, and I think it's also been vital. Head coach Scott Bears has told his Petaluma defense, don't let Bodell get the ball open, and don't let Girish get it open, and there just aren't too many other options.
No one else has been providing sufficient offense.
The third leading scorer on the Dragons is Phylan at 8.9, the junior forward. Still, the Dragons won't go away. And
not bad to have developing talent.
Petaluma needs to continue to keep their foot on the gas pedal. They lead
Cole,
by
I can't
14.
help you forget anything. I don't have any, oh, God, do you need, some sort of,
He might need some therapy.
Yeah, I mean, it was rough, Cole, I'm not going to lie.
Cortez! That might help all Trojan fans forget the disaster a couple weeks ago, as Petaluma's looking to break a 3-game losing streak.
And they're looking good, Griffin. 17-point lead currently.
The Trojans have put it all together tonight, and they lead 44-27. Up and under, and the foul. That's not who you want if you're Petaluma to even see one shot go in.
Luckily, they have a bit of a buffer right now, 15-point buffer. But obviously, if they're making mistakes, they have time to readjust, change the game plan.
Petaluma has their lead cut to 15. Bodell scored 10 points in the first quarter. Since then, he only has 5. 15, still below his season average of 18. There was other Petaluma sports action tonight. The girls basketball team at Justin Siena, as was the boys soccer team, and Bodell's got another easy layup.
And all of a sudden, the lead's down to 12.
Yeah, that was awfully quick. Sherman's had a pretty comfortable 17-point lead. Just a moment, it's gone, but Tynes gets the answer with his first points of the evening. He provides great energy. This Trojan defense has stood up.
Griffin, what are your
Any
thoughts?
Dragons comeback so
Difference
far?
between evening and night. When does evening end and night begin? I think 8 o'clock.
Tyne soars to pull down a board. Nice
I
energy.
think evening begins at 5.
I would say the evening actually begins at 4:30.
Okay, all right, controversial opinion, but I like it.
Dragon Ball.
4:30 to like 6.
No, I think 7:30.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But I think it's also there's a little bit of bias between the evening and the night, just based on the time of season.
Absolutely.
And when it's the summer, the evening feels like it stretches to 9, and during the winter, it feels like the evening ends at 5:30. Because I feel like the evening implies dusk, and once it's pitch black, and you're seeing the stars in the sky, it feels like night. So you could take it that way too.
Of course.
Excellent effort by Sullivan to get the block. Perez a little out of control. He's been a lot quieter after his good first half. And then a bad decision, a foul by Perez in the backcourt. Sullivan's block, though, just a good representation of why this Petaluma defense has been so good. They've gotten handsy, knocking the ball away, forcing turnovers, pulling down rebounds, doing all the little things defensively, not leaving anyone open, making Sonoma work for it and take tough shots.
I think they're playing great physical basketball.
Yeah, and they're playing physical. It's just so hard, and they're forcing Bodell to try to be a superstar and get the Dragons back in this game.
Looking like the Cavs versus the Warriors all over again.
Not even sure what that means.
No, because it was all LeBron. Come on. When LeBron was on the Cavaliers,
I see.
It was all
I did
LeBron.
compare Bodell to LeBron, and it might be a little high praise.
Warriors were a fantastic team unit, and the entirety of the Cavaliers' offense was LeBron. It was hand it to LeBron, pass it to LeBron.
Imagine though, if the Warriors in that situation did not have Curry, as Tyne's able to hit. Imagine if the Warriors didn't have Curry or Draymond Green in that game. That would be so much harder. That's basically what Petaluma's dealing with. Tynes with the steal and the finish.
We are now at the largest lead of the evening, 18 points. But, Griffin, Curry and Draymond are great team players. Curry and Draymond, great team players, whereas LeBron, it's all about him.
That's very true. Petaluma has played like a team tonight.
Yes, absolutely.
They've been manned down. We saw Perez, then Sullivan. Now it's Tynes. It seems like it's one man down, another man steps up.
Everyone takes turns stepping up. Everyone takes everyone takes a little time carrying the team on their back to victory. I think.
Yeah, and this Petaluma team obviously has struggled, as we've said, shooting the ball with the little things, but there's no doubt there is depth on this roster.
Absolutely. I think tonight's proved it. You needed to cycle more players in because Izetta and, Bermudez, forgot the name for a second, Bermudez have not been here tonight. And so it's forced more players to get on the court, and I think it's only been a positive thing.
Yeah, and you want to see a full score sheet. I mean, it is going to be packed tonight. Everyone has gone involved for Petaluma. I believe Garan and Stremlau are the only ones for Petaluma not to score yet.
Garahan has scored.
Garahan has not scored, along with Stremlau, who hasn't played. It's really been everyone getting in on the party. 1 minute remaining in the third quarter. Petaluma 50, Sonoma Valley 32. The Trojans looking as they reach the halfway point in VVAL to go back to 500, and they'd be just half a game back of the rival Gauchos and in the middle of the pack in the Vine Valley. Girish is fouled. He led to the line for 2. 15 foul on Petaluma. The Dragons.
Girish trying to get anything started.
Yeah, he started the game so well, but maybe being a freshman got to him a little bit.
Yeah.
We're mentioning other Trojan teams in action here tonight as Girish hits the first. Boys soccer team has gone final against Justin Siena, and it has been a rough stretch for Petaluma. Everyone has gotten injured. This time it was Ethan Ford who was hurt, so Petaluma didn't have its starting goalkeeper in there, and they fell 2-1 to the Braves. 4 straight losses for the boys soccer team. They had such a great start to the year. They have really fallen on tough times of late. They're halfway through the Vine Valley.
Sonoma is fouled. Interesting. Interesting call. Okay.
That was Garrett. Foul on Perez is third, and the Dragons doing a nice job getting to the line. Maybe that will get their offense going. I say the best recipe to wake up an offense is some cherry stripe ingredients.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The best way, Aiden,
Yes.
to wake your offense out of a slumber
Yes.
is to get some charity stripe action going, but it will only help if you make it.
I'll remember that the next
both are
time you
mess.
double fault against me. I'll remember that the next time we're playing tennis. and you double
Hines! Oh, he couldn't finish.
fault.
He has been the
The
star
best
for
way to
Petaluma
start
in
an
the third.
offense.
Shot clock turned off for the Dragons.
20 seconds.
Step back in and out. That has been the kind of night it has been for Sonoma Valley offensively. Sullivan was not looking for the ball, and it goes off his hands. Trojans 5-13 overall. They played a challenging non-league.
Seems to be a dispute over possession.
Dragon ball. Someone was saying Petaluma, which incensed Sonoma Valley head coach Mike Bowles. 10 seconds left for the Dragons to try to cut into this lead. They briefly got it to 12, but Tynes did a nice job answering for Petaluma. It's been double digits basically the whole way in this third. Garrett over Garahan, won't go. Only 9 points for Sonoma Valley, and George Tynes helped pick up the slack for Petaluma offensively. They lead by 16, 50-34 with 8 minutes remaining.
I was gonna say we have only 8 minutes remaining, Griffin. I'm feeling pretty good about this. It's always it's always too early to say anything, have any positive feelings one way or the other. But I'm feeling good about this.
Yeah, it's so hard to piece a complete game together, especially for a young team. The Petaluma looks like if they can play in this fourth quarter, I think for the second time this year, the other one would be a dominating victory over Vintage. But they will have played a complete game and really played good basketball here.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I don't mean to speak too soon. Teams can absolutely fall apart in the 11th hour. And not that I would ever wish that upon the Trojans, but they're going to need to keep playing and executing the game plan that they've been using all game.
You have to give credit to Petaluma, too. That we mentioned the Casa Grande game was, man, the lowest of lows, falling behind 21-0. They were never in the game against their rivals. The first victory in the regular season for the Gauchos over Petaluma since before Joey Potts 5 years ago. And Petaluma has, even after another loss, their heads have not been down, have they?
No, not at all. I think they've been doing a really good job of coming back, very proud. And they're coming to play basketball.
They've clearly worked hard, used 8 days off, which is the longest break they had all season long, to get ready for one final surge of action where they will have no more than 2 days off all the way the rest of the year. Or at least the regular season. They still have a shot at a VVAL tournament appearance. Petaluma will need to finish in the top 4 for that.
Cortez with the ball.
Current VVAL standings as Cortez will get to the line for 2. Trojans with a victory tonight would move to 3-3, and they'd be just a half game back of Casa Grande and Vintage. We already know the Trojans can beat the Crushers. We've seen it before. And certainly,
Lead currently 16 points, looking to extend to 17.
Certainly, if Petaluma can win their next 2 games, tomorrow night against Justin Siena and then again against Vintage, they're going to put themselves in a position for potentially a top 4 or even number 3 spot in the VVAL tournament. They love to play some postseason basketball.
Absolutely, and if they keep playing the way that they've been playing tonight and add in their 2 best players,
right?
Absolutely, I think this is a team that can go very far.
Yeah, it's remarkable. They played a complete game, and you forget that Esteban Bermudez, their leading scorer, out, as is Robbie Izetta.
For unknown reasons, both of them, right?
Yeah, and they've still
Yeah.
pieced together a complete game. I don't think that this has been Sonoma Valley's best game. They have looked out of sorts offensively.
I wish we had a sports
Petaluma
journalist that
defense
to figure
itself.
out why they were out. Do we have a sports journalist?
Here-ish with the over and back. 51-34 the score. The wrestling team is Stevenson's off the mark, also in action tonight.
I hate myself.
They are taking on Napa here at Petaluma. They're in the multi. The Trojans wrestling team undefeated in VVAL, but Napa currently sitting in third. They should give,
We have a great wrestling
yeah,
team.
they should give the powerhouse Trojans a test, but man, they are good. And in fact, Aiden, due to kind of the tilted VVAL schedules, a lot of home games early for Petaluma, both sides of the basketball. Our next live stream will not be all the way to a week from tomorrow, and it will be wrestling.
Oh, interesting.
We'll
Griffin, what will you do with
yeah,
yourself
we will be right here in the Petaluma High School gym, Casa Grande and Petaluma, the final wrestling dual meet of the season, and in all likelihood it will decide the Divine Valley Athletic League title. Rivals should be a packed gym, a lot of fun.
And can we just get a win against Casa in any sport, please?
Trojans have not beaten Casa Grande in any sport with full rosters on both sides. The girls golf team did beat Casa, but Casa didn't have a full team. So they officially couldn't score and had no possible way of winning. Girls soccer team did draw with the Gauchos as Tynes,
Great putback.
his miss is put back by Sullivan. What a game by the junior Sullivan tonight. Everyone's gone going for Petaluma, and they have kept the Dragons in their lair.
Boydell misses another one.
Tynes is fouled, 15 foul on Sonoma Valley. Sullivan's got 8. Perez has 11. Alexander has 7. Brown has 7. Tynes with 4. Gehring with 5. Clark with 2. Everyone has gotten involved
Everyone
tonight.
has gotten a chance to score.
Certainly helped with the extra playing time as well. With Izetta and Bermudez out. Girish drives the length of the floor and cuts the lead to 15. But the Dragons are in trouble, falling behind in VVAL to the second to last. And one for Reed Hewitt. His first bucket
Unfortunate
of the game.
situation there. Stevenson was about to be forced out of bounds, had to get rid of the ball quickly, and unfortunately turned it over.
And don't look now, with the lead cut to 13. And the Dragons in the 1-1. If they can find a way maybe to get Bodell and Girish hot, both 2 prolific scores, look out. The Sonoma Valley team knows how to win this year. Already 12 victories on the season.
Very true.
They won the Dixon tournament.
The score is now the lead now cut to 12.
Finished second at the Hornet Invitational. Very successful non-league campaign, and they beat Justin Sienna and Vintage in VVAL. Clark is fouled. Dragons trying to trap and get another turnover. This Clark being criticized by assistant coach Nick Jacopi. Don't want to stand in the corner there. That is a recipe for disaster and exactly what the Dragons want to try to force a turnover with the clock not on their side. Another double. Alexander
To Brown.
finds Brown.
Puts it in.
Sweet stroke for Sammy Brown. He's got 9. His highest scoring total of the season. He had 7 points in a loss to Cardinal Newman in the Rose City tournament. He has now surpassed that. Bodell will get to the line on the other side. Boydell. The Trojans need to focus here on not fouling. We mentioned that's the easiest way to score, but it also stops the clock, which the Dragons want as well.
Yeah, 5 minutes. Still a lot of gameplay.
The Trojan defense has been so good against a Sonoma Valley offense that really can shoot the lights out of the ball. averages 54 points per game, 42% from the field. They're a good free throw shooting team too for high school, 65% from the line. And they're a 28% three-point shooting team. They frustrated them for so much. You don't want to make all your hard work go to waste. Alexander off the mark. What an effort by Clark, diving on the ground to pull it down. Brown somehow saving it. And Tynes able to pull it down. Timeout is the call. Chaos there, Aiden.
No one had possession of the ball there. Wow. Wowie.
Yeah,
pretty wacky.
Down 2 players, that's hard. Petaluma has been a team that is they have been the team that has left their jersey out on the floor.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more, Griffin. And it's just that the Dragons, their offense is kind of it feels stifled.
It does.
It feels like they can't get anything going. It feels like they're not hitting any shots, and it feels like the two players that have really been trying to carry the offense, Boydell and Girish, can't do anything.
Yeah, these are 2 teams that I think pretty evenly matched, have a similar level of talent. Sonoma Valley has the experience. I think Petaluma has the youth and up-and-coming talent, and obviously the history. They've dominated the Dragons as of late. But Petaluma, as you mentioned, I think the defense has been key tonight, but they've also, I think, played with more effort and they've wanted it more. And then certainly those 8 days off had to help as well.
Come back, prove that you don't need your 2 best players.
We mentioned Trojans will look to have some success in the second half. Going on the road will be hard. Petaluma has 6 more games left in the regular season. They'll face all VVAL teams once more. Every game on the road except against league leader Napa. Clark bricks that one up. The Dragons have credit to 12. We haven't seen a single-digit game in the second half. Filan nearly got it down to 9, but the Dragons, who were hot from 3 early and quickly took a 7-0 lead, just have not been able to generate the same production in the second half.
No, not at all, unfortunately.
Brown streaking to the rack like a comet out of nowhere. He's got 11.
The lead back to 14.
Brown, we mentioned the baseball player. The skills and athleticism translated, but he just multi-sport, but he's also just plays with such great energy and spirit, and that's a big part as well.
Brown almost got it there.
You always see him clapping, standing up on the bench. He's into the game. He wants to win. Girish, the freshman, wants to win too. He has 12 on the evening.
Really? Only 12?
Yeah, it felt like he was going to have a big night the way he started. Another steal here. Petaluma was turnover 3 for basically this entire game.
And the lead is now 10.
It has not been that. Hewitt takes it away, and the Sonoma Valley fans, which number about 50 that have made the trip, are vocal. Cold-blooded Alexander from the corner.
And the lead back up to 13. Great play by Kenny Alexander.
The Trojans have had an answer every time Sonoma Valley has looked like they're going to go on a run.
Get the ball.
Exceptional save. Somehow gets to Bodell, who is fouled. Take a deep breath. This game being played at a frantic pace here tonight, and especially in this 4th quarter. Dragons valiantly trying to get a comeback. They need a victory tonight, or they're going to fall into a deep hole in VVAL after they had such a promising start. So much experience, such high expectations for Sonoma Valley. They sit ranked currently 12th in NCS Division III. They certainly have NCS playoff aspirations with their winning record, something Petaluma cannot say.
Interesting that Petaluma is able to not dominate, but perform incredibly well against such a team that's supposedly so much better than them.
Yeah, or at least ranking-wise, they're 300 spots in California ranked ahead of them. Petaluma has proved, though, they are a strong team. Brown with a careless travel that time. He's not the best ball handler. It's been a quiet atmosphere for the most part, but the tension's starting to ratchet up. The Dragons have made this a ball game late. Can Bodell lead the Dragons to a comeback? Hewitt got his own rebound.
Almost got it.
The Trojans able to pull it down. Gehring wasn't expecting the pass.
Wouldn't want the Trojans.
All the little things, as Hewitt sinks it. All the little things that Petaluma was doing so well, not allowing offensive rebounds, not turning the ball over. They have gone away in these last couple minutes here, Aiden.
It all just fell apart, and I'm worried that they're going to be shell-shocked. I'm worried that that they're going to come back out of this, and they're going to feel like shaken. And I feel like that's how Sonoma Valley was feeling all game. And I would hate to see the Trojans lose this game that they've been winning so handily the entire throughout 3 quarters. I would hate to see it all go away.
Yeah, this is an experienced Dragon team. They are not going to be scared in a close game. They played a lot. Petaluma has only played 1 close game all year, an overtime loss to Annalee. If this one does come down to free throws and game decision-making, that is an advantage to the Dragons.
Yeah.
Appreciate all our viewers. If you missed any of the stream, you can go back and check it out right here on our YouTube channel. And our next live stream is a week from tomorrow, varsity wrestling against Casa Grande. We'll be live. We'll actually have 3 straight live streams that week. The next night, girls basketball takes on Napa, an important VVAL fair. And boys basketball will have their senior night against Napa the next night on Friday. Another turnover by Petaluma and another offensive rebound given up. Nice battle by Alexander to force the jump, but the arrow points towards Sonoma. Petaluma needs to settle down here.
Put points on the board.
I think they just need to really take care of the ball, run the clock.
No, I think they need a double-digit lead again.
That would be helpful too, and I think getting a cushion will help.
And
help calm their nerves.
Below 11.
Because this team has looked like a team that is asking to give the game away, trying to hand it to Sonoma. Petaluma led by as much as 18 in this 4th. What a pass to Hewitt. Reed Hewitt has come alive in the 4th, and he has 4, and the lead is cut to 8. The Dragons are pressing. The Trojans need to get it up, and they get it to Perez. Just nearly across the timeline before 10 seconds expired. Trojans want to run some clock. And they will. They can run it down to about 110 if they use it all, though the Dragons are going to try to press and force a turnover. Clark underneath. He'll get to the line for 2. Petaluma finally able to put a possession together, run some clock, and not turn the ball over, and get a chance from the line. That is exactly what you want to do. And you put your senior co-captain at the line as well. An added bonus for a Petaluma team that has struggled with free throws at times. The 6'1", 160-pound senior guard, not afraid of the moment. Clark will split the pair. The lead is 8. The Dragons need points in a hurry, but they have proven they can score them. They are on a run right now. Filan's shot rims out. Spanger, I should say. He bites his jersey in frustration. That one looked good and would have cut the lead to 5. Instead, the Trojans pull down the rebound. Bodell fouls.
And this has turned into a really interesting game really quickly.
Brown will go to the line. Yeah, much too interesting for Petaluma's wishes. You know, no matter the result, head coach Scott Bears will be disappointed with the effort at the end of this. Trojans did a nice job against Vintage when they got their last victory. It was a long time ago now, at least it feels like January 4th. They won by 20 points. Really just didn't let Vintage back in the game. A Crushers team that since then has won 3 VVAL games. Alexander splits the pairs, and there's still an opening for the Dragons. Bodell, so skilled, and he's got 19. Hot in the first. Trying to pick it up in the second. Trojans clear it. The Dragons need to foul. They will foul Clark. And Trojans have missed a couple free throws as well.
All right.
JV game was even tighter tonight, Aiden. What a JV boys basketball game we had prior. Went to overtime.
That was heartbreaking.
Yeah, Petaluma fell by 1 point. Had a look at a game-winning buzzer beater, but couldn't hit it.
Put it in.
Yeah, and the Dragons hit a 3 with just a couple seconds left to tie up the game, send it to overtime. Petaluma had a lead for much of OT, but the Dragons hit a late bucket to take the lead.
Nice.
And Clark hits both. Extends the lead to 9. As much as the varsity team has struggled at points, the JV team, that was their first loss in VVAL play as they're halfway through their schedule.
Wow.
So even nonetheless, they have played well, even with the loss.
They have a strong record, yeah.
And they've certainly still got a chance to win VVAL for the JV, even with their 1 loss.
Oh yeah, the key is always come out of a loss. Don't feel discouraged by it. You know, it happens to everyone. It happens to the Dragons. It'll happen to you. So don't come out of it discouraged.
You as well.
And you. It happens to everyone. And so don't come out of it discouraged. Come out of it learning. The most important thing,
definitely.
You cannot be mad at your loss. You must learn from it. And yeah, that's really the secret to success.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of talent on that team. They've been fun to watch before the varsity games. They're 13-6 now.
Oh, the future of Petaluma basketball is very bright.
Very bright, especially with the young Trojans. They're 13-6, 5-1 in VVAL. Head coach John Bears, yes, that's Scott Bears' father, has done a terrific job working with that young Trojans to have a very successful year. Freshman teams had some success as well, 12-9. Bodell is fouled. That is the last thing you want to do if you're Petaluma. Brown's holding his hands straight up in the air, saying, I did not foul. But it doesn't matter now. It's three free throws.
As horrible as that was, Griffin, it could have been worse. He could have hit the shot.
That's certainly true.
As soon as it went up, I knew he wasn't going to hit it, but that foul was scary.
A 6'3" senior guard. Now into the 20s with those 2 free throws. Exactly who you want at the line if you're Sonoma. Petaluma's going to need to make these 3 throws if they want to get a third VVAL victory, get back to 500 halfway through league play, and build some momentum to this key end of stretch and try to finish and have a successful year. Perez is fouled. He'll head to the line for 2.
The lead is now only 6.
Perez had a terrific first half with 11 points, and the sophomore is now in the spotlight.
You know, this game reminds me a lot of us, Griffin, when we play doubles. We're very good at the beginning, but unfortunately, we seem to loosen up at the end. And I think
you love those tennis analogies.
Oh, tennis analogies are great. And I think that's really the lesson that the Trojans should take from this, win or lose. You need to focus up. You need to tighten up when it nears the end. You can never let up. Yeah,
definitely. Perez hits both. Lead back to 8. Lots to take away from this one. A learning experience, victory or loss. Bodell off the mark. Perez with the rebound. And 2 more 3 throws, and that should just be about curtains. The Dragons, a valiant effort to cut into this lead, but really too little too late for them. Their offense was just stymied for so much of this game. They finally got going, forcing turnovers, getting some offensive rebounds, but man, this Petaluma team had them under wraps for the majority of this game.
Good stuff to Petaluma. Amazing play. Amazing play. Shouldn't have let up at the end, but otherwise amazing play.
Perez has 15. Ball is turned over. Tynes will be fouled, and the Trojans are going to pull out a hard-fought, huge victory tonight to go to 3-3 in the Vine Valley Athletic League. They'll be at Justin Siena tomorrow night in Napa. The Braves are winless in VVAL, 0-7. The Trojans beat Justin Siena here back in December, 48-42. It's going to be a tired Petaluma team, and I'm assuming they will not be with Bermudez or Izetta. Petaluma cannot have a letdown game.
We could figure out how
Yeah, we'll try to figure out before we go off the air, but it's going to be hard for Petaluma off a back-to-back to try to bring the energy tomorrow in what's going to be a very important game. Dragons will get a second chance. Tynes takes it away, and that should do it. Tynes can dunk, and he throws it down with a vicious one-handed slam. The cherry on top. Oh my goodness. What a way to finish here tonight. The final score here from Petaluma High School, the Petaluma Trojans 72, the Sonoma Valley Dragons 60. A huge victory for Petaluma. They break a 3-game losing streak. A complete team effort, even though they were shorthanded.
And a great job by the Trojans. Absolutely fantastic job. Great defense, great offense, taking smart shots, taking the ball away from Sonoma. Taking the ball away from Sonoma. And now we're going to go get some interviews, right?
Yep, we are going to grab the stars of the game. It should be happy Petaluma team after one of their better victories of the year. They did let Sonoma back into the game, but they really played a complete game for the most part. 72 points in the game. Nothing to slouch at either, as much as we compliment their defense tonight against the very dangerous Sonoma team. They were impressive. We are going to be right back in just a moment with interviews, so stick around. We are going to talk with the stars after Petaluma pulls out a massive W. We are going to grab Ryan Perez in just a minute. He's headed off to the locker room. But the Trojan sophomore star picked up the slack without Esteban Bermudez and Robbie Izetta being in there for Petaluma. He was huge to their production tonight. That really helped them out in getting a victory. But everyone contributed to this victory for Petaluma tonight. Aiden, can you get on? Hopefully you are able to hear me. They're not able to hear me. Or am I distant?
You're very, very, very soft.
How's that? All right, hopefully you can hear me a little bit better now.
It sounds almost...
All right, hopefully you should be able to hear me now. If you could not hear me before, we're going to grab Eric Perez after Petaluma gets a big 72-60 victory over the Sonoma Valley Dragons. They reached the halfway point of VVAL play. There was only 2 more weeks though left in the season, with 6 games coming up in the next 10 days, and they're all on the road. Petaluma with only 1 more home game left in their schedule. It's going to be a very busy schedule. Except for that. Everything except for that. Yeah. Petaluma will be at Justin Siena tomorrow, and then Friday night at Vintage, and both of those games are very winnable because Petaluma already beat both of those teams already this season. It's going to get tougher next week. Starting Tuesday night, they'll be at Casa Grande. But if Petaluma can get Robbie Izetta and Esteban Bermudez back and healthy and play the way they did tonight defensively and not be scared, learn from the disaster here 2 weeks ago where they were blown out by Casa Grande, I think there's no doubt they have a chance against the Gauchos. Aiden, I'm going to let you take a seat, and I'm going to go grab Ryan Perez, and you can entertain the audience while we wait for exclusive interviews right here on Trojan Live.
Hello, everyone. My name's Aiden Cannon, and we just watched an excellent game of high school basketball. Amazing play by both sides. But, of course, the Trojans were the better team tonight. 72-60 was the final score. Eric Perez was the standout with 25 points. 15 points. The 15-point effort. Tynes really capped off the night with a nice dunk. Now, a nice dunk, and that really symbolizes this game for the Trojans. Just pretty much dominance after the second quarter. Second half was all Trojans. Although I must admit, Sonoma Valley mounted a valiant comeback at the end there, cutting the lead down to 8. Trojans were luckily able to pull away, but they should, as with everything, they should take a little bit of a lesson away from it. That they really should tighten up at the end of games. Because the lead, they got their lead all the way to 18 points, and obviously having that cut down to 8, ooh, that's rough. We have Alex Fabian Davies, our cameraman, joining us. Alex, you did a fantastic job. Do you have anything to say to the people?
Yes, hello people. Yep, basketball is good and it should be appreciated more. Yep.
Thank you. I think the most impressive thing from tonight's game that I got out of it was how well the Trojans were able to play without their 2 star players, Bermudez and Izetta. Bermudez obviously the top scorer, and Izetta starting point guard. I think that is fantastic that they were able to win without them, because it breeds confidence in the team. When you're not the star player often, and then you have your star players taken away from you, often you can feel disheartened by that. You can feel like, oh, we're not going to win because our star players aren't here. But but tonight showed that they can win without them, and it breeds confidence in. Why'd you move that? All right. I was just in a great speech about how winning without star players breeds confidence and stuff like that. So,
Give it later. Yeah. All right, the head coach of the Trojans, Scott Bear, is going to join me. We're mixing it up a little bit in terms of order tonight. Coach, big victory tonight. You guys have lost 3 straight games. You guys had 8 days off before this one. How important was that preparation? What did you do to get ready for this one?
I think where we were at mentally, I think a few days off was kind of what the doctor ordered. I think a lot of us were feeling maybe a little overwhelmed, kind of getting blurry-eyed as far as game-to-game preparation. So this was nice to have more than one day to get prepared. We had a lot of time to just focus on us. Our intentions were to get people healthy. As you can see, that was kind of the opposite effect with going down both of our point guards due to illness, and we actually had a couple players out here playing hurt tonight. So, but it was nice. Other guys were able to step up in the rotation and actually play some positions that they're not normally used to playing, and kind of a roller coaster a little bit, but able to come out with a nice win.
You guys' defense was dominant in the second, third quarters, really turned around this game. How are you guys able to shut down a very prolific Sonoma Valley offense?
Well, we do a good job of getting ready and knowing who they have and what their strengths are, and we try and play to their weaknesses a little bit. As we take away their strength, they can use their offhands, they can put up shots in areas of the floor that they're not generally used to. We did a good job of that. We kind of got out-physicaled for a while. A lot of their points were on second, third chance opportunities. Once we were able to control the glass, I think our defense did its job.
You guys now have 6 games in the next 10 days, and 5 of them are on the road. Very challenging schedule. How do you go forward after getting an important victory tonight?
We take this one game at a time. We know what the rest of this week has in store for us. 2 teams that we're able to get the best of the first time, but we know they're hungry, we know they're ready. So we take it one game at a time, and I think on Friday we'll determine our relevance.
Thank you so much, Coach. That was head coach Scott Bears. Eric, we're ready for you. Eric Perez is going to come over and join me. What a night he had tonight for Petaluma. 15 points for Perez, a career high for you, Eric. How are you able to get your production tonight?
Just because our team was playing good, we were swinging the ball. I was ending up getting to the rack, so it just worked in my favor.
You guys were down to your best players tonight, out with illness. How important was it for you to step up in their absence?
Well, honestly, I just had to take care of the ball. What they do best. There's the ball coming, by the way. I just had to step up, take care of the ball. I still messed up in the game. I still had a couple turnovers that I need to fix myself. So I still have room to improve. So.
You're only a sophomore on this team. You're now nearing the end of the year. What do you feel like you've learned and the rest of this young team has learned over the course of the year, and how has that helped your development?
Just the tempo of the game is a lot different when it hits varsity, and that's what we learned. I'm sorry, I was watching it.
Yeah.
We just learned that as it gets faster when you're playing older kids, so it gets faster. That's it. You have to take care of the ball.
You guys have a very busy schedule coming up, a lot on the road. What will be the key to continuing the energy and great effort you had tonight?
Just coming ready to go. That's the main thing. Just playing with heart and coming out and fighting for our team.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Congratulations on the victory. That was Ryan Perez, Petaluma's leading scorer tonight, had a massive game in helping Petaluma. What did I say? Oh, I said your brother, Eric Perez. Oh my goodness. His older brother, Ryan, who was a fantastic basketball player here too. He actually showed up later in the game, but Eric with the big game tonight. 17 points for Petaluma to lead them. He was monstrous, but really everyone stepped up here tonight for Petaluma. You can join me here, Aiden. Aiden, you can join me. Huge game for Petaluma tonight. Now we'll be able to continue it. Coach Bear said it. On Friday after Vintage, they'll really be able to determine their relevance. Do they have room left in their season to do great things? Can they compete with Casa Grande? Can they make the VVAL title? Tonight was the next step. They've got 2 more games to prove they belong, and I think they can have a successful year if they win their next 2 games after a huge game tonight.
Absolutely, especially if they keep playing like that and tighten up their offense and defense at the end.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun to follow. We do have a girls basketball score for you. The struggles continue for Petaluma's girls basketball. They fall to Justin Siena 42-37. The wrestling team did defeat Napa tonight, so there is more good news in Petaluma sports. There's a lot of sports teams on the road of late, but we will still have more coverage Friday night. The fantastic varsity girls basketball team that has been soccer team, I should say, that has been so good this year will take on the Vintage Crushers in an important VVAL matchup. Don't miss that right here on our YouTube channel, be uploaded over the weekend. Want to thank Alex Fabian Davies for doing a great job, Aiden Cannon as well. For everyone here at Trojan Live, I'm Griffin Epstein. Once again, the final score, Petaluma 72, Sonoma 60, a big victory for Petaluma. They're halfway through VVAL, and they are at 500, and certainly in the thick of things in the Vine Valley Athletic League race. Good night, everyone.